Hey guys, welcome back to today's vlog. I'm excited to have you here. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you right now that I'm nasally and just have a lot of like cold stuff going on. So I apologize if I sound a little nasally and congested. It just is what it is, and I may have to put like a peppermint to help me out to get me through this vlog. So real quick, just to introduce myself, my name is Ashley, and I'm excited to have you here today. My husband Stan and I, we have been married for almost 24 years. It'll be 24 years in August. He is in law enforcement and has been for about 27 years. And I am a stay-at-home homeschooling mama because we have a lot of kids. So we are parents to 7 kids and grandparents to 2 sweet little ones. So Stan and I had 4 biological kids, thought we were done, and then the Lord led us into adoption. So we have brought home 2 little girls into our family through international adoption, and we're actually in the process right now of bringing home another little girl from China. So once she is home with us, that will make number 7 for us. So we live a full life. We live a simple life. I know that it may look different than the average American family, if you will, but we live a very simple life, and we share a lot of it here on YouTube in hopes to encourage others to pursue adoption and to live with purpose, and that's why we're here. So I'm excited to have you here. I did not know when I purchased this top off of Amazon that like my white bra was going to be showing. I don't have a black one, so that's gonna annoy me, but it's okay. I do love this little top though. Okay, so Q&A session today. That's what we're going for. I'm just answering some questions that were left for me over on our social media platforms, just for you to get to know me, get to know our family, and all of those fun things. We are going to have an intermission in the middle of the Q&A session. I was fixing to say program. It's not a program. We're going to have a little intermission, if you will. I've had this video. It's a 2-minute video. It's of our family. It's hilarious. It has to do with Stan. You need to see it. And I've had it done for about a month, but I didn't have a vlog to like incorporate it into. So I'm just going to throw it into here. We're going to talk about some questions that some of them are kind of deep and heavy, so I thought we might break it up with a little bit of humor. So if you're not interested in getting to know me, you definitely want to just kind of stick through this video so that you can see something funny, real funny, okay? Okay guys, I went ahead and put a cough drop in my mouth. I'm gonna try not to slosh it around so as to annoy any of you, but please forgive me if I do, okay? So I'm literally just going to read these from my phone and just dive into it. I'm going to try to be concise and quick with my answers, yet informative, because I can get a little chatty and a little long-winded. So let's see here. First one, will Isabel be able to learn to speak? So Izzy is our little girl we brought home from China about 3.5 years ago. She has some challenges. She is nonverbal. And to answer this question, we don't believe that she will ever speak. And that's not being a pessimist, that's not having a pessimistic view on it or thinking that she's not capable of it. But due to the challenges, the cognitive challenges she does have, I don't think that she will ever speak. But if she does, then that will be amazing. But right now, we are just preparing ourselves that she may always be nonverbal. But that does not mean that she cannot communicate. She communicates with us through her laughter, through her body language, through her smiles, through her cries, just like anyone else. So she may not be able to speak like us, but she absolutely can communicate. And she is slowly but surely gaining more receptive language. And she's understanding more and more phrases that we're telling her. So yeah, I don't think she'll ever speak, but we know God can do big things, and if he chooses to heal that within Isabel, then awesome. And if not, then that's totally fine too. And of course, a lot of these questions are going to be about our girls and adoption. because that's why most people come to our YouTube channel, because they love Isabel and Mika, and that's totally fine. But I did have a few that pertain to me personally, so I'm going to answer those as well. So someone asked, I see that you're always working out. How do you have the energy to work out, and how many days a week do you work out? Well, I don't always have the energy to work out, but I know that working out gives me energy, if that makes sense. Working out is a great stress reliever for me. I do enjoy my time in the gym. And so right now, because I'm doing 75 Day Hard again, I am doing it again. I think I'm on day 45. You have to work out 2 times a day, one of which has to be an outdoor workout. So right now I am going on a 45-minute walk a day and then working out in the gym for about 45 minutes to an hour. So right now it's 2 days a week, 7 days a week, but that's just because it's 75 Day Hard. Once that ends, my norm is to get to the gym about 4 to 5 days a week. Now I do have weights here at my house, and there have been many days, and there are many days where I don't feel like leaving the house again, and so I will just work out in my driveway or in my living room while I'm watching a Hallmark movie. Next question, Mikaela's Prognosis. Will she be independent one day? Mikaela is our little girl we've adopted from the Philippines. She was our first adoption. She's actually been home for 5 years, just celebrated her 5-year anniversary of being home. She is nonverbal. She does have some delays and such, but she's extremely smart and can communicate very well. She is very capable of doing so much in life. So we do believe that she will be independent one day. But again, we also know that we cannot put a whole lot of expectations on these kids, because at the end of the day, she may be with us for the rest of her life. And that's just kind of our mindset of we're going to help her be the best Mikaela that she can be. She's extremely smart, extremely capable. She is a hard worker. I mean, little girl's a little spitfire. And we want to help her be the best Mika that she can be. But if at the end of the day she ends up needing to live with us for the rest of her life, then that's kind of mentally, emotionally what we're planning on. And if something changes, then it changes. So, yeah. So I had several people ask about our current adoption of our little girl in China, whom we are going to name Lily Grace. So we started the adoption process right when COVID hit. And that was in 2019. And China shut down adoptions. They halted adoptions. And so right now, our family and about 400 other families have literally just been at a standstill with our adoption journeys until China sees fit to resume adoptions and to allow international travel. They just hosted the Winter Olympics, and we are fingers crossed that was a good experience, and that gave them some confidence to know that we absolutely can open up some international travel, and if anything, just get these adoptions moving along and getting these orphans home. So no clue when she'll come home. We're hoping this year, but we really do not know. But Lily Grace is doing great. She is in Eagle's Wings. She's doing amazing. They sent a picture the other day. She was learning how to eat a little cookie, and so she's thriving at Eagle's Wings. They love her. They're taking great care of her. And they send us pictures and updates, usually about every 3 weeks. So we're so thankful for that. So yeah, nothing to report on the adoption update necessarily, but that's where we're at. We're just patiently, not so patiently waiting. Moving on, next question. What are some good Bible studies or devotionals that you have enjoyed? So let me just be real and honest with you. I'm not a big reader. I don't get up in the morning, and I don't have these quiet times and devotionals. I mean, I'm sure some are in shock, because that is the thing, right? For us Christian women to get on here and talk about our little quiet times and books that we're reading and all of those things. And at the end of the day, I I don't do a lot of devotionals, and I don't get up and I have specific quiet time with the Lord, and I don't love to read. But with the 75-day hard program that I did back in the fall, and now I'm doing it again, part of the daily task you have to do is to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. So I have been reading more, and I do enjoy the reading, but it's not something that just is like, oh, let me sit down and read a book real quick. I've never been a huge reader, mainly because I need quiet so that I can comprehend what I'm reading. And obviously with a big family and kids in the home, that's rare to find. But I am kind of teaching myself how to read even with noise and racket around me. And I am doing much better. So, I don't know. I read a book, Radical by David Platt, that I really liked. Francis Chan, I read Letters to the Church. I loved that book. Right now, I'm reading like a compilation of A.W. Tozer's sermons and books and things like that. And so I'm almost done with that book, and I think I found another book by David Platt that I would like to read. So that's what I'm reading. And as far as devotionals go, I have several devotionals back there, 3 or 4. But I normally will start for a couple days and then just die off. And so consistency with that is very, very poor for me. But let me just say that I don't think that us as Christians, we have to sit down and have this intentional quiet time with our coffee and our Bible and all of that before we start the day. I feel like your relationship with Christ is something that is ongoing, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, month to month, year to year. And you just have to find what works for you. And if you are growing closer to Christ and quiet times in the morning are what works for you and what feeds you, then you absolutely should do that. But don't feel guilty if that is not what you do, because I am not one of those. And I don't define my relationship with Christ or how he's speaking to me or my prayer life or anything like that based around, am I sitting down and doing a 15-minute quiet time in the morning before everyone else gets up and going? So I just don't think that that's a good measurement in gauging how you're pursuing Christ, right? So this is another great question. Someone asked, do you feel the NemoCheck Protocol has been behind Isabel's progress? And again, like I've already said, if you're new here, Isabel is our little girl that we adopted from China. She has a lot of challenges. So I can say wholeheartedly, 1000%, yes, I do believe the NemoCheck Protocol is behind her progress. Absolutely. Y'all, the NemoCheck Protocol, I have 2 other videos on it, so I'll try to tag them right here or in the description box below. It's just this very simple method that we came across. A friend introduced it to us. Essentially what it's targeted is to heal the brain and the gut. And absolutely, it has helped Isabel 1000%. We do not miss a beat with the NemoCheck Protocol. She takes her products every single day. It is life-changing. I tell everyone that I know about it. If they have a child that's developmentally delayed, has autism, ADD, ADHD, gut issues, like all the things. That's something that I am very vocal about, is the NemoCheck Protocol and all the benefits that it can have really for anyone, but especially little ones that struggle with maybe some of those areas. So yes, NemoCheck Protocol is a godsend for sure. Okay, like I told you, we're going to have a little intermission, y'all. It's 2 minutes. 2-minute intermission just to break it up right here. Watch this 2-minute video of Stan getting his nose hair pulled, okay? Stay and watch this.
Hey, don't be jacking with me.
I'm not.
I'll hurt you and you know it.
I know.
There's a paddle right over there.
Okay.
See, come on, let's go. I smell it. It's hot. It's hot. I smell it.
Put your hand down.
Son of a... Okay, son of a gun, mother of the... Okay, stop. Let it go.
Oh my gosh.
This is going to hurt when it comes out, isn't it?
Stop.
You're going to... Oh, my God! That sucker's in there tight! Oh, my God. Dude, get this done.
Hudson, yes.
Son of a gun! Dadgummit! Okay, that's enough in there! What the heck is wrong with you? Son... I can't breathe. But, babe, look. Oh, my gosh. Hey.
Hi there. Ready? Let's go.
Oh, son of a gun! I told you! Son of a... Gosh! No! It hurts!
Oh, that is
Wow.
Look how hard those hairs are.
Oh my god.
Hey, let me look under your nose real quick.
Was that funny or what? Y'all, it was so funny because the day after I shared that video on Facebook, Emerson, I think it was Emerson who commented on it. She was like, no Emersons were hurt in the filming of this video because Stan was a little like, what are you doing to me? You know, a little aggressive. But we thought it was hysterical because Stan, nothing makes Stan squirm, y'all. Nothing at all. So to see him squirmish and like scared and like nervous and anxious, I mean, we were just rolling. So I wanted to share that with y'all. You're welcome. Now, let's get back to the Q&A. So this is a good question, and I don't even think I don't even have a prepared response. But I'm just going to go for it, okay? Someone asked, how do I deal with my preteen daughter's attitude? It makes me sad and mad. Okay, so our oldest is 21, Addison. He's married, has 2 kids, right? And then we have Emerson, who is 18. She just turned 18. And we have Grayson, who is almost 15, and Jackson just turned 12. So yeah, I'm in the thick of preteen and teenagers and all of that. And I know it can get challenging. It can get stressful. I feel like it's really with every season of parenthood. You feel like you've kind of got a groove and you've got the answers to kind of the challenges you're facing, and you've set methods and things in place that seem to be working for a season, and then all of a sudden, like, okay, now we've got this new challenge that's kind of come through the front door, and now I've got to tackle that. And it's just this revolving door that us as parents are constantly always going through, right? I'm sure all of you can relate. I know, with Isabel, I'm like, as soon as we feel like we've got something figured out with her, and we're kind of getting comfortable, if you will, all of a sudden, like, we wake up on a Tuesday and she's thrown all that out the door and we've got a new challenge facing us. And you really have no option other than to figure it out, because at the end of the day, you are their protector. You are the one instilling in them all the values that you want them to stand for. And remembering that these are not children that you are raising. These are future adults. And if we don't pour into them, and if we don't figure out the hard things to help them learn how to cope with friendships and school and hardships and, all of these things that they face, who is going to pour into them? We don't want to leave them to their own defenses to figure these things out, because we know that can not be good at all. You have to know your child, and what works for one kid may not work for another child. And so you really have got to look at each child very individually to see, like, how can I get to them, and how can I get to their heart of the matter? And I do feel like that is a huge thing. I think that's really the only wise thing that I can say, is when you're getting attitude from your child, when you're facing whatever, disobedience, they're sneaking out at night, they're not respecting you as parents, they're not respecting teachers at school, like all of those things. I think it's very easy to just look at the behavior and throw out consequences for their poor behaviors. You're grounded from this. You're going to take your phone away from this. And you can't go out for 3 weeks because you brought home an F on your paper or whatever it is. I think when you start seeing repetitive poor behaviors over and over, you really have got to quit looking at the behaviors and start looking at the heart and figure out what is going on within their heart. Look, I've got a plethora of kids in the house, and there's many that argue and argue and argue and just bicker back and forth, and it will drive me batty. And the lazy parent in me sometimes just wants to be like, stop arguing, stop doing that, go to your room or whatever. But when I know that I really reach my kids is when I sit down and I'm like, okay, why were you just ugly to him? Like, why did you just say that? And really just kind of go through like, let's talk this out and let's figure out why you're being ugly, why you're disobeying, why are you angry? Let's figure it out, because until you can figure that out, the behavior will not change. And one more thing as I'm sitting here thinking, I have heard a lot of parents say, well, that's just how teenagers are. Oh, well, that's just how preteens are. And that's just what toddlers do, right? And I'm like, no. Like, yes, there are some behaviors that kind of come with these different seasons of life that are kind of predictable, I guess you could say. But that doesn't mean that you accept poor behaviors just because they're entering the preteen world or they're entering, the teenage world. Like, I feel like parents almost just kind of throw their hands up and like, well, it's just a teenager for you. And I'm like, no, disobedience is not just a teenager thing, because if your child is disobedient as a toddler, as a preteen, as a teen, guess what? They're going to go into adulthood disrespecting everyone. And let me tell you, that's not going to be pretty when they're on their own in the real world. So I think not just dismissing that it's just a season or that it's just, that's just what they do. You have to tackle it and you have to say, that's unacceptable. I don't care if all your other friends at school are doing this or talking to their parents like this in our home. We don't do that. And just tackle it, y'all. I mean, look, I'm not saying I have all the answers. Trust me, we do not. We don't do everything right in parenting. I think that would be foolish for anyone ever to say they've done everything right in parenting. But I think when you get to the heart of the matter on some of these behaviors that you're seeing that you don't like, that is where you're going to start making progress. And that's where you're really going to start seeing some changes within your child and even connection with your child, connecting with your kid. And you're not just the parent that's reprimanding them all the time and saying, why did you do this? Why did you do that? But like just one-on-one and just being like, hey babe, like tell me what's going on. Why are you so angry at him? And maybe a lot of times it has nothing to do with the problem at hand. It's stemming from other things that they're dealing with. So there's my 2 cents. I don't know. Next question is, what are some things you do for self-care? Well, I kind of already tapped into that. Exercise and gym time is self-care for me. I do, in the spring and the fall time, I do like getting out and going on walks by myself, where there's not anyone asking me questions or talking my head off, right? I like to put my headphones on. That is one thing that I've really loved lately is I like to just put my headphones on, crank out some music. Sometimes it's worship music. Sometimes it's, bumping and grinding music. I don't know. But that for me really clears my brain and I really enjoy that time. And you have to remember too, my kids are older and they help out tremendously with my little ones. Like, it's not a problem for me to say, hey, I need to go shopping, or hey, I need to get out just for about an hour. Can you watch the girls? So we have a great support system here within our home that really allows me to kind of step out if I need to step out, if I just want to go wander Target for a little while, or I want to go to the gym for a little while, or I want to go eat some Mexican and visit with a friend over chips and salsa. So it's not terribly hard for me to step out if I need to. For me, I'm an introvert. I need quiet time. So self-care for me is just getting quiet by myself, honestly. And the older I get, the more I crave it and I need it. So sometimes that even looks like me going to bed early, like 9 o'clock. And I might sit in there on my phone. That's usually when I do my reading. So I'll do my reading and then I'll scroll on social media, or I'll edit some pictures, or whatever it is. But I'll just go lay in bed for about an hour by myself until I'm ready to fall asleep. So, you know, it's nothing fancy for me. I mean, I don't require a lot. I'm pretty low maintenance, but I know that with the plate full of life that we do have, you know, it can be exhausting in all the ways. I wouldn't change it for the world, but I recognize and I know when, like, okay, I just need to go for a walk for a little bit. And my kids are very understanding, and Stan is very understanding of that. So we just have a great support system within our home that allows me to partake in self-care, whatever that looks like. Next question is a good one. Will y'all adopt again after you bring Lily Grace home? So the answer to that is yes, absolutely. We want to continue adopting as long, you know, for however long the Lord sees fit for our family. And, you know, considering our ages will allow us, because obviously at some point there's a cutoff and like, okay, you're too old to adopt. But we absolutely will adopt again, hopefully a few more times once we bring Lily Grace home. At least that's our plan. Things may change. The Lord may have different plans for our family, and that's totally fine. I mean, our family has been greatly blessed by adoption and bringing these girls into our lives. It has been the hardest journey of our lives, but it's the most rewarding. And at the end of the day, you know, we as Christians are put on this earth to bring glory to Christ in all that we do. I've said it before. I've said that before here on this channel multiple times, and I've also followed it up with, that doesn't mean that we're perfect. We struggle, we argue, we don't do everything in the most Christ-like form or fashion, but our hearts are to live a life with purpose and intent to bring glory to Christ. And for our family, that is through adoption. And so we want to continue doing that for as long as the Lord sees fit for our family. Okay, I know that was not a whole lot of questions. I do have several more on my phone, but I can get long-winded, and I don't want this vlog to be 40 minutes long. So we're just going to cut it off here, and maybe about every 6 or 8 weeks we'll do a Q&A session. I do think they're fun. I like to watch Q&A sessions of other YouTubers because you really get to know the people, you know. You really get to know them. Like, I like to know, like, what do you like to do on the weekends with your family? And then I like to know, like, what are your views on this topic or whatever. So I like getting to know them, so hopefully you all like this as well. So we're going to call it quits here. I got Isabel. I hear her in there. She's about ready to eat, I think, and Mika's back there watching Toy Story, and she's probably not missing me at all. But thank y'all so much for joining me. I had a great time in this little Q&A session. And if you have any other questions for me, just like drop it in the comment section below. And next go around, I definitely will answer your questions. Okay? So thank y'all for joining. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, go ahead and do that now. And we'll see you next time. Bye.